1 Corinthians was written by the Apostle Paul when he was in Ephesus on his third missionary journey. It was probably written around the year AD 55, and it was written in response to concerns and questions that Paul had heard and received from the church in Corinth, a church that he had planted on his second missionary journey when he was there in Corinth. When we read through 1 Corinthians, what we find are the answers from Paul addressing these concerns and answering these questions, and they cover a wide range of topics. For example, at the beginning of the book, we see him addressing factions and schism and division in the church. We see him addressing things like the wisdom of God versus the wisdom of man. He talks about why Christians should not pursue lawsuits against fellow believers. He talks about how to address immorality in the church. He talks about moral defilement. He goes on to talk about singleness and marriage in chapter 7, about food offered to idols in chapters 8 through 10. And in that section, he gets into issues related to Christian liberty and how he restricts his liberty to make sure that the gospel goes forth and is proclaimed as widely as possible. In chapter 11, the role of women in the church, also how to properly observe the Lord's table. Chapters 12 to 14, spiritual gifts, all around that nucleus of chapter 13, that love is the goal and purpose of the gifts. Chapter 15, that great chapter on the resurrection, and chapter 16, talking about a collection for the saints, and then ending with final greetings. What 1 Corinthians offers, because of these wide range of topics that are covered, is it offers you as the preacher the opportunity to go through these very relevant topics and explain them both from a first century standpoint and also show how the principles and the instructions that Paul gives relate to a 21st century congregation. I know your congregation is going to be edified as you take them through Paul's instruction in this first letter to the church at Corinth.